Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode. It's yours truly, Culture Shock. We're here to talk about the recent signing. I know it's been a while, but we did make a move. The Colts wound up getting a new defensive coordinator out of after firing Gus Bradley. They went out and got Lou Anarumo from the Cincinnati Bengals. He's been coaching them from 2019 to 2024. He was just recently let go, but a lot of fans are skeptical about this signing because they're 50-50 with it. But he had a lot of success in Cincinnati. They had a lot of good defenses, and it proved how far they went in the playoffs. And one thing about Colts is that they haven't been in the playoffs for a while, and they have not gotten to the AFC conference game in a while as well. But this coach that they just hired has done so, and he has a philosophy in mind that might help them get there. Now, a lot of people call him a mastermind, a genius. When it comes to his philosophy on defense, a lot of good blitzes, a lot of disguises, things of that nature, which was pretty much lacking in Indianapolis. Of course, last year and the year prior, you've seen a little bit of adjustment when it goes to disguises and schemes, but it just wasn't good enough. As last year, the Indianapolis Colts had one of the worst defenses in the NFL, which called for a change, and the change came today. Well, as of this week, I would say, going out there and getting Coach Lou has had an experience as head coach for a while. Starting back at 89, running back coach from Wagner. Going into 1991, he was a graduate assistant and assistant defensive backs coach in Syracuse. 92 through 94, he was a merchant marine. Going through defensive coordinator and defensive backs coach. 95 to 2000, he was a Harvard assistant head coach, defensive back and special teams coach. 2001 to 2003, he was defensive back coach for Marshall. 2004 to 2011, he was the defensive back coach for Purdue. 2012 to 2017, he was the defensive back coach for the Miami Dolphins. 2015, he was the Miami Dolphins interim offensive coordinator, well, defensive coordinator, sorry. 2018, he was the Giants defensive backs coach. 2019, 2024, Cincinnati Bengals defensive coordinator, and which led him to 2025 as the defensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts. So he had himself a journey, if you might say, throughout the league. Um, but, you know, like I said, he has a lot of experience at this position when it comes to coaching. So it's a good thing to have a veteran coach that knows what he's doing. And from his experience, from his resume, he has a lot of experience with defensive backs, which is one of the issues for the Indianapolis Colts. Last year, I feel like the DBs, they took a leap up, but towards the end of the year, they went back to where we started. And it was always a huge question mark going into the year with the defensive backs of how good they might play with the lack of talent that they had. You know, they put a lot of faith in these young guys, and a lot of them did step up, but it wound up coming to be a huge problem towards the middle and end of the season, in which we figured would have been like that anyway because it just wasn't a lot of veteran experience. But bringing in Coach Lou Anarumo, his defensive plan, like I said, he's going to try to do what he can do to get these quarterbacks unstable. Like I said, a lot of disguises and things of that nature. Putting pressure on the quarterback is one of the things that the defensive line needs to do for the Indianapolis Colts. He loved Latu coming out the draft, which is another bonus. He mentioned Shane Steichen, how they played against each other. So he doesn't really know him that well, but he knew him through playing against him on the opposite side. So I'm interested to see his philosophy and how it's going to work for the Indianapolis Colts. But again, they're going to have to hit hard in free agency. A lot of these guys, a lot of people may say that's on the roster for the Colts can plug into a system very well. A guy like Juju Brents, in my opinion, could be a guy that could take a huge leap up next year if he can stay healthy, just due to the pressure that the defense is going to be putting on the opposing team. His scheme is going to be perfect for Juju Brents, and I think if he can stay healthy, he can be the guy that we're wanting him to be. So that's going to be interesting to say the least. Anarumo, he did have good success in Cincinnati 2001, 2022 when they made back-to-back AFC championship games, of course. But like I said, their defense was a huge factor, despite what we might have seen in the final results. But I think their defense was good enough, and he got a lot of credit for the scheme that he put out there. Now, of course, his scheme is more up to date than what Gus Bradley's scheme was, in my opinion. Of course, a lot of people always mention the Legion of Boom success and things of that nature, but those times are gone, and I don't think he had those type of players on Indianapolis to do the same damage. But when you look at Anarumo, I think his scheme is more up to par, and I think he blitzes a little bit more than what Gus Bradley did. So it's going to be interesting to see how this team is going to pan out. You got two masterminds on both sides of the football now. You got Lou Anarumo on defense, and then you got Shane Steichen on offense. Both of these guys are scientists when it comes to these experiments of how they implement their game plan on both sides of the football. Now, I'm not saying he's going to go out there and be the greatest coach of all time, but he is in conversation of being a very good coach. He was definitely on a lot of teams' radars, and I'm just happy the Colts wind up picking him up. He said communication is key. In the interview he had today, or the presser he had today, said the least, with the Indianapolis Colts, he said communication is key. And then he mentioned how he's going to hold a lot of people accountable. Of course, we heard the same thing from Chris Ballard when he said Shane Steichen does that. But of course, we're going to have to let the results be the answer for itself. Of course, you can say a lot of things, but the results matter in the box scores if you're either winning the game or losing the game. But I got a lot of faith in this team. Of course, you guys know that already. I got a lot of faith in what the mindset may be moving forward. I already said it from the ballot pressure that they're giving off a different energy that they're used to giving. I feel like they're going to be more aggressive in free agency this year and try to hit home on a lot of targets. And with Anarumo's scheme, and a lot of players might know who he is from his recent experience, championship pedigree and things of that nature. I think there's going to be a lot of talent that can be added to this roster. So it's only a matter of time. We just have to wait and be patient. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section about this signing. If not, who else would you have gotten? And what players do you think can really implement have a boost from the scheme that's being added from Anarumo? The current players on the Colts, and who would you like out of free agency as well? Let me know all these things in the comment section. And until next time, I will see you guys. This is Culture Shock. You guys have a good one.